Okay, so I'm a little late on this video, but not really. I kind of held it back for a little bit because I was waiting for a few more things with Ebola to develop to make a little bit longer of a video. But so on October 16th, I read this article from Facebook that this guy right here was on the same flight as the nurses, or whatever, that had Ebola or that were around Ebola. And so he is 26 years old, which he was born in 1988. And the flight that he was on was flight 1143, which is actually 117. So they do, 7-Eleven. Remember, before the Boston, after the Boston bombing thing happened, and then they found the guy at the 7-Eleven. And then you read through the article, and they have the 77 additional hospital workers quarantined in Dallas. This article doesn't really say if he ever contracted it. I know supposedly there's a certain amount of days that you can get it. Um, I just wanted to point that out that he was born in 1988, and then they show the 77s, and also the flight is 7-Eleven. So the first European person with Ebola was Teresa Romero Ramos. And this article on CNN here was she was exposed in the ER for 8 hours after positive Ebola test. This article was on October 8th. She's actually 44 years old. I mean, what are the odds that she's half of 88? I mean, the odds are not that great. So she's the first person to contract Ebola outside of Africa. And then it says here, the Ebola virus has been voracious, infecting more than 8,000 people and killing at least 3,800 people, or 3,800. So you take away the zeros, you have your 8 and your 3/8 again. And so the big thing with her was that they euthanized her dog. And I can't find a definitive article of if her dog actually died on October 8th, if they killed him on October 8th or not. But anyway, either way, it doesn't matter. It would, but it doesn't. I can't find it, so I'm not going to keep looking. But it says here that people started a protest at her apartment complex and created a hashtag started at change.org that garnered more than 380,000 signatures. So there you got your 38 again. And I found this other website here that Care to Petitions, and it says urgent stop plans to euthanize Excalibur. So the dog's name is Excalibur, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I wanted to show you how many people signed this petition here. Now, how does this not seem real? So the petition ended with 32,223 signatures. That is skull and bones to a T. Are you joking me? How is this even an article? Unless it's holy crap, that's all I can say. 32,223. That is the strangest number in the world to stop on, considering it's a huge number that it's been talked about multiple times. But even if you break it down, you got your 32, which is a 6, and your 23, which is a 6, and then you got your 222, which is a 6. You have a 666 in there. Or you could just say you have your 32 and your 223 or your 322 or your 23. Really? It's fake. That maybe this isn't a real, maybe Ebola's not fake, but this number is fake. It's a fake number, or it's real and they're using it against us. That's why it stopped on that number. It's crazy. There's so many people. There's so many Satanists in this world. It's unbelievable. And there's also no documented cases of dogs passing the Ebola virus on to people. But they had to make a story about an animal because people, it's just like them commercials with the in the arms of the angel. Like, people just feel bad for animals. So they make a good thing here. They people really follow the story and get into it. And it's just another thing to just sway people away from really what. I guarantee you looked at that number and thought, I mean, well, there's people who did, but I guarantee the majority of people did not look at that and think anything significant of that number. It just, it really bothers me sometimes. So that lady's dog was named Excalibur, and King Arthur pulled Excalibur out of the stone, right? So that was in Avalon, and this guy's this guy is awesome. I think he's awesome, but when you go to him, you look at his stuff here. He is 66 years old. He's been active since 1966. Let's look at his discography here. Just keep in mind that King Arthur pulled Excalibur from the stone in Avalon, which is present-day Glastonbury. But, so this he's 66, he started doing his work in 66, and then he releases an album called Back to Avalon on August 4th of 1988. I mean, and it was his 6th studio album. And the reason I like this guy so much is honestly because of this song right here, Meet Me Halfway. Well, because it was on Over the Top, and as a kid I thought that Over the Top was just a killer movie. Like, it ruled. And the arm wrestling and whatever. But, I mean, it talks about, like, kind of like time travel-y, like, he says, meet me halfway across the sky. And then he talks about, like, a new beginning of another life. Well, the 8's do represent a new beginning. So, it's the 11th track on his 6th album even, which is 66. But then, I mean, 11 and 8 is 88. But, I mean, the point I'm trying to say is that he's talking about a new beginning, and this album came out in 88. And also it's Back to Avalon with Excalibur and the Sword and the Stone. So, there was a protest going on earlier, I think in like June of this year. Metallica was going to play, or Metallica did play, the Pyramid stage at Glastonbury, or Bury or whatever. But the whole point of the deal was that people were mad because James Hetfield had had a show on the History Channel about his stance on bear hunting, and that History Channel thing was called The Hunt, and it was an 8-part series. So, and I'm not sure if I said it, but Glastonbury is actually like the new day Avalon, where Arthur pulled the sword from the stone, supposedly. So I'm just going to read it off of here because I can't remember it all. But in some of the in some of the versions of the legend of King Arthur, the sword that he pulled out wasn't actually the real Excalibur. And so Rhiannon, who I talked about before with the Rihanna video I made, was a Celtic goddess who became Vivian, and she was the Lady of the Lake. So the sword that Arthur pulled out of the stone wasn't the real Excalibur, and he was later given the real Excalibur from Vivian or Rhiannon. Now, that's kind of interesting. I mean, considering that, you know, she's surrounded by 8's and Rihanna, and then so the real Excalibur was actually from her and not from the stone or whatever. I just pointing that out. I mean, I just found that interesting. And also, Metallica also has the drummer is Danish, and it has ties to the tribe of Dan. I forgot to point that out. Just felt like pointing that out again, or now. So you also have this video here, or clip, or picture, whatever, of they had an article about the guy with the Ebola patients, and he's not wearing a hazmat suit. Now, to me, the reason they do this is because they want you to so if anything, if Ebola does start spreading like crazy and it gets all over the world, basically they're just going to blame it on poor techniques and bad habits or bad medical procedures or whatever, and that's why it keeps spreading. And they keep pushing that in the news. And I mean, why? That's why they're showing you this right here, because they want you to think, oh man, we're stupid and Ebola is going to get transferred because this guy isn't wearing a hazmat suit and nobody knows what's going on and everybody's doing the wrong procedures. I mean, so if they do spread it, um, everyone's going to think it's this reason. And if not, they're just doing it just to scare people. Or maybe it's even to show that it's not airborne or this or that. I mean, who knows right now if Ebola is even real, or if they're trying to scare us, or if it's real, or if they're trying to they have something different and they're giving to people and it's like Ebola. I mean, who knows? I mean, I've never physically seen anybody with Ebola, so who knows? But it's just crazy that they would post an article like this. I mean, all this article does is just get people more and more riled up about it and talk about the nonsense of it. I mean, they don't talk about the real facts about Ebola. Everyone just has their own theory now, and the world's just like crazy about Ebola. Everyone I know has a different theory, and they're all going by what the media has shown you. Well, they should actually. I wish more people would look at the numbers and look at it all. It's all set up and it's all fake. But I mean, I don't know if Ebola is actually fake, but I know that right now all the stories that they're posting, I don't think are real. I think, and even if they are, I think they're manipulating them in a way to get people to just be confused as crap. So, I don't even know. That's way more than I even need to share, really. But I mean, I'm confused myself. But if you look at the numbers and not listen to what the media says, or just look at it in general, I mean, moral of the story is that there's somebody planning it and planning everything that's happening. So that's what I'm trying to get at. That there is a plan, and all of this is planned, and there's a reason that they put all of these on here for us to see. All right, and I think the last thing I'm going to say about the Ebola thing is that there was an article about a nurse that went to Kent State that got Ebola, and I don't know. There's an article here, but basically, so all I had to do was think Kent State, and I looked up Kent State, and there's a few things surrounding it I thought was kind of crazy. So, Kent State is one of the largest universities in Ohio, with an enrollment of 41,891 students in the 8 campus system. Like the 8 campus system, really? So there's an 8, and it is ranked by the Carnegie Foundation as one of the top 77 public research universities. The top 77? That's just a strange number in general to throw in there. Also, it offers over 300 degree programs, among them 250 bachelor degrees, 40 associates, 50 masters, and 23 doctoral programs of study. So you have a 23 here, you got a 77, and an 8, all in a little article, and 119 buildings on Kent campus. Really? So 9/11. I mean, I'm just gonna end it there, but like everything they put in front of you, if you go and check it out, it has numbers that they're using. It's insane. But once again, that's all I gotta say. I know this video's long, and it's maybe I talk a lot, and I'm sorry. But peace. Have a great night.